you will watch on this podcast.
I don't care who you are, you can't possibly think it's okay to give an entire bottle of Coke to a little kid.
AI will be probably 100 to 1,000 times more clever than us, and we have to find our place in our humanity.
Food, I don't even like to call it food because I don't see it as being food.
If you don't know what's in it, probably don't eat it.
I believe sitting is the new smoking.
Welcome back to this Wellness Billion podcast, my friends. It's so nice seeing you again, having a friendly conversation with you. Today we have a guest from the US and we're gonna have an amazing conversation. Just a quick reminder, this podcast is divided in 3 different parts, 3 different articles, 3 different topics that we're gonna discuss today. I'm gonna let my dad, Karim, introduce our guest.
Yes, hi guys, happy to see you again. Well, we have a very special guest today because Kimberly Verbeke is a traditional naturopathic doctor and a wellness coach, and she's passionate about holistic health and natural healing. She's inspired by her mother's emphasis on nutrition, and she founded a company called 𝐒𝐿𝐼𝐍𝐃 Wellness and Aesthetics. Is that right, Kimberly? In Texas, where she helps her clients reclaim their health through personalized evidence-based care. With a background of in healthcare, Kimberly focuses on addressing the root cause of chronic health issues that she's using natural solutions like functional medicine, a kind of therapy she's going to talk to us about, what she says she calls micro-kneading, I think, if I say it correctly. And her mission is to guide individuals toward optimal energy, resilient, and long-term well-being. Kimberly, how did you get to that outstanding naturopathic path?
You know, it probably started with how I was raised. I was raised in a very, very healthy home. My mom was very into alternative medicine, and I don't really remember very many times seeing a traditional medical doctor growing up. It kind of, I suppose developed this interest for me in medicine. And I started out my first job working in a nursing home. I gave medication and shots, and I really wanted to be a medical doctor in my late teen years. And having this experience working in geriatrics was so profound because I always tell people when you start out at end of life, you know what you don't want. Mm-hmm. Particularly here in the States. I don't think it's exactly the same other places, but America accounts for 4% of the world's population, and yet we consume about 70% of pharmaceuticals for the world. We have some of the shortest lifespans, some of the unhealthiest people, a lot of chronic illness here. And so seeing that, I was like, wait, this is not what I want to do. So, I still was very interested in fitness and nutrition and exercise, I just didn't kind of know what path I want to go down, and ended up with some of my own health issues that just kind of set me on this path. And I decided to go to school to be a naturopathic practitioner because I really wanted to be able to help people address their health from the root cause so you can optimize your health and live a really high quality life. I think that's super important.
Yeah, and we come to find out when we are in a wellness business and a holistic manner that everything is at our fingertips. It's just that so many things come together, supporting those commercials and so on and so forth, that sometimes the people that are not embedded into the holistic wellness can be distracted from what counts, from the roots of the wellness.
And the US is one of the main population that consumes ultra-processed foods and fast foods and all of that. So this is a big consequence of of all that. Like I've been following, for example, a lot of content creators and influencers from the US, and they've been talking about those topics. They've been talking about ultra processed food, the accessibility actually of ultra processed food and accessibility of fast food, and that mainly the population consumes that.
It becomes a commodity because it's so close, it's so easy. And it was made easy by the people who were making business out of it, and we cannot say that they're not right. I mean, they're making their business. It's just that people have to be aware of the risk that they can have by using this type of food, and more and more we notice that the kind of alternative are raising the awareness of people. And at the end, I think it's also a matter of price.
I would have to say, I don't think ultra processed food is inexpensive. It's convenient.
It's convenient.
And I think that's, problematic for a lot of people. I was literally having this discussion with someone on social media yesterday. They were telling me how against capitalism they are because this is what's made us unhealthy. And I'm like, no, our choices have made us unhealthy. I believe in capitalism, but
Absolutely.
it is our job to educate ourselves. I am responsible for my health. No one else is. And ultimately, I believe in personal accountability, and that matters when it comes to food. It matters when it comes to every single aspect of your life. If you put that power in someone else's hands, that's a choice you've made to give that power away, and then say, well, they put it out there. They wouldn't make it if it wasn't healthy. Not true.
I totally agree.
In a sense, I would say something that would twist a little bit what you're just saying, Yassine, and you, which is that over 300 million people in the US, and the commercials and the marketing engine that is behind those 300 million people is very powerful. I mean, very powerful. I was looking at the conference of a very big company that supports food, and I noticed that they raise their price every single year. But on their board of directors, they were saying we are raising our prices, but at the same time, we are raising our marketing budget by 2 times to be able to support the price that we're raising. Meaning by that they know through the marketing, they're going to sell more. Because people will be completely trapped in some kind of marketing that is funneling them to eat what they eat. And it's very difficult because when it becomes a habit, drinking Coca-Cola or whatever trademark, I want to push any trademark through another one, but saying that they were raised with it and it's still hamming their heads. It's very difficult to be self-aware, because you have no one to open your eyes enough times to compete with marketing. And we're going to talk about marketing in the second article, but it's very difficult to say they have to have self-awareness
Go ahead.
All this marketing is around.
No, I don't disagree with you, but I also think that, again, there's a choice what we fill our mind with, what we spend our time watching, listening to. And I think that, there are situations certainly where people grow up with just less. They're poor. They're not given the same level of opportunity. That's complex, right? Not something we're going to resolve in a podcast conversation. I do think that most people recognize when something is healthy or not healthy. Would you agree with that?
I totally agree. I agree with you, Kimberly, and I partly agree with you, Karim, because there's this huge marketing budget behind big companies, healthy or unhealthy. They are like big budgets, yes. But today, the information is free to find on social media every single day. And there's more and more and more information. So I come back to what Kimberly said at the beginning, the choice is ours. And we are what we choose to be. We are what we choose to eat, what we choose to consume every single day, what we choose to see every single day. On my social media, for example, I mainly have maybe 99% of the time healthy choices. 1% of the time unhealthy choices. If I keep on liking or commenting or saving that unhealthy choice, I'm going to have more unhealthy choices in my social media. But that's my choice. That I chose to do that. Yes, maybe I got influenced by marketing, but at the end of the day, we're the ones, for example, reaching to those chips or whatever is in our surrounding. For example, myself, I don't have any fast food or processed food in my home because I know that if I have it, I'm going to be tempted to be able to choose to pick it and to have it and to consume it. So at the end, when I go to the supermarket, I just pass through it and don't take it.
Yes, but guys, look at it from another angle, please. Look at it from the angle where, since you're born, your mother fed you with the milk full of sugar. The cornflakes, she put it in front of you in the morning before you go to school, is full of sugar. The cook
But that
that
was
comes to
before.
the school to show you how to make pancakes is full of sugar, which is full of sugar. I mean, you are educated in terms of being a sugary person. Sugar is the main entry door of all sickness, and we know it. And it brings also all sorts of problems, wellness problems. But you're not supposed to be that curious when you're 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old, till you're 12 years old. And everything is given to you for free, and everything is shown to you for free. Plus, you have the fashion with your friends drinking some fancy drink that you shouldn't drink with half of sugar and half of acid. I don't know where it comes from, but you like it. You like it because your friends like it. You like it because you see the commercials, and you like it because you were used to that kind of taste since you're 2 years old, or even before. So there's all things coming to perspective that we have to look at, and not just launching the responsibility over to people because they are in an environment where they have no other choice, because they were brainwashed since their very young age. And not only that, but they are addicted to a kind of taste, because you know, Kimberly, and you know, Yassine, that taste is a memory. I mean, when you taste someone, it brings your brain to a memory, so something that you like, and it goes straight up to to bring you dopamine. And this is directly linked with addiction. So when it starts when you're 1 year old or 2 year old, it's very difficult
I
to change
don't
your
disagree
habits
with
at
that
12 or
statement.
14 or even 18.
However, I have seen many people that were raised in unhealthy food environments. They reach an age where they don't feel well or they have chronic sickness, and they choose to educate themselves or reach out for help from someone, and they're willing to make changes. Um, I think those are some of the saddest situations, because children, for example, children have no control over what they're given, right? That is a parent's responsibility. And I believe it's your responsibility to care for your child in the best possible way. These situations where you see these 2 and 3 year olds being
Absolutely.
diagnosed with diabetes, I have a really hard time with that. I mean, I don't care who you are, you can't possibly think it's okay to give an entire bottle of Coke to a little kid. We have innate intelligence that we're born with. When you talk to most people, even if they say they weren't raised eating healthy, they're like, I know that's not good for me. Okay. Right? So I think you do reach a point where you understand, and there are concepts around it. And to the point you were making earlier, we have so much information at our fingertips. And when people are like, oh, I didn't know, or I didn't have that information, this is what I find to be true with most adults. If we're interested in something, we figure it out. The world is our oyster. I mean, you log onto your computer and you can get any information you need very, very easily. So I think, for me, it comes back to, even if you weren't raised eating well, my husband, for example, was not raised eating healthy at all. And it has been challenging for him. For example, he just always drank like soda or juice, or, he to this day, like, water is not a thing for him. And I'm always like, dude, you have to drink water. Drives me crazy.
Dude,
But
I love the
he
dude
has
thing.
a palate that has been conditioned to drink sweet things. And we talk about it, and I'm like, it's up to you. Your health is your decision, right? If you want to feel good, probably cut out some of the sweet drinks and drink some water. But ultimately, that's his decision, and he now knows, right? And so I do understand that it can be challenging for people. Um, I I also think that when someone is chronically sick, most of those people are more willing to make changes, because nothing you put in your mouth that promotes your sickness is worth it long term.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I'm saying they get addicted until they get sick through chronic disease or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But until then, they feel good, peace, having their friends, sharing pizzas and cokes and so on and so forth with them, having a good time,
hmm
eating chips in front of the soccer game, of the football game. I mean, everything is right. Beer is everywhere. I mean, it's a way of life. I mean, when you look at the US, uh, and other countries also. I mean, we're not only focusing on the US, but let's take the picture of a family gathered to look at the football match. I mean, you see beer, you see cornflakes, you see chips, you see all this,
Yeah.
and you don't imagine that it could be different than that. You don't imagine that a woman like you would do a low carb pizza, serve only greens, leafy greens for people to eat during the food. I mean, they need sugar to be like on top of
Yeah.
their
It's a
mind and
conditioning, right?
their body.
And it's a conditioning in
It's a
either
conditioning.
direction.
Absolutely.
Well, that's a perfect time to be able to jump into the first article.
Yes.
Kimberly, I'm going to let you read the first article, which is related to what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first article, kind of the key point is that walking for 30 minutes a day can reduce your risk of heart attack, stroke, Alzheimer's, cancer, Parkinson's, and neurodegeneration, and potentially increase your lifespan by 7 to 10 years. So this is one of my favorite topics, so I'm really glad to get in there. I typically walk between 4 and
That's what
6
we choose
miles
to.
a day. I used to be an endurance athlete. I don't do endurance sports anymore, but I lift weights and I do a ton of walking. And there is so much science to back up, walking and longevity. They're best friends.
That's amazing.
And I love it because walking is something you can do if you're young, if you're old, if you're pregnant, if you're, you can even have some mobility issues, and a lot of people can still walk. It's free. You can do it anywhere, anytime. You don't need a gym or special equipment. And I feel like it's such an easy way to promote health with people that aren't currently getting daily movement in their life.
That's one of the main reasons in Europe there's a lot of elderly people. It's because everyone walks everywhere.
I know.
People don't use the car there anymore. Like mainly elderly people. You see a lot of elderly people actually walking to wherever they want to go, to their neighborhood hairdresser or whatever. And that's the beauty of it. And then you'll understand why there's more elderly people in Europe than anywhere else in the world, because people walk in the city.
And we don't here in the States. Everyone gets in their car. And I believe sitting is the new smoking. It is so degenerative to your health to just not move. And it's why people are like, why do you get up and walk that far every day? I'm like, because my job entails a lot of sitting during the day and it's not good for my health. And so I prioritize movement in the morning and in the evening. I feel better. My brain works better. My mood is better. I digest my food better.
Mhm.
Everything, everything is improved with activity, I believe.
You see, when you see those blue zones, where zones that have thousands of people, over 100,
Yes.
they're always active. They always do things. Walking is part of it, but moving up, doing things in the garden, of helping
Yeah.
each other for whatever reason, being active,
Yes.
being doing something while you are standing up. You can take the things from one place to another place. You can do whatever you do, staying active, having movements. I mean, I look at them, I studied them, and I found out
Mhm.
that really this activation of their body is one of the main reasons why they are
I totally
so
agree. I'm
in
very,
shape.
very interested in a personal level on longevity, and I do a longevity protocol with people. And I have studied a lot on, areas of the world where there are a lot of centurions. And the thing that you consistently see is those people they're moving, right? They're moving their bodies on a regular basis throughout the day. And most of them aren't performing any type of formal exercise, but they're moving. And that is the magic, because here in the US, I mean,
Absolutely, that's the
there was a
magic of it.
study that came out. I think it was sometime last year, but the study was around what they call exercise snacking. Have you heard of this? Okay, so fun. So they took two groups of people, both
First time.
untrained, and with one group of people, they had them, I believe it was every 45 minutes throughout their workday, they had them do like 10 air squats, right? Just a body weight squat. And they had them do it every 45 minutes throughout their workday for like 8.5 hours. The other group of people, they had exercise for, I believe it was either 30 or 45 minutes straight. And guess who did better? Guess who had better outcomes, better glucose regulation,
The first.
better. Yes, the people that moved throughout the day. And
Mhm.
it just shows you how detrimental. I mean, you wouldn't think like 10 air squats, what does that take you to do? 15, 20 seconds? Like it doesn't seem like it would be meaningful, but it is. And so it's one of those things where you can take away excuses from people like, oh, I don't have time. Yes, you do. You do have time. You can do this because it's so simple, it's so easy, no equipment necessary. You're literally going to move your body for 30 seconds every 45 minutes. And the outcomes from that were significant. So I think this goes back to exercise doesn't have to be arduous or hard or long. You just need to move. Next point is that socializing anywhere from occasionally to every day increases the lifespan of older people, with more significant interactions leading to higher longevity benefits. And I think there's a lot of proof that is very, very true. We're social creatures and we need interaction with people we care about. It produces a lot of those feel-good hormones in our brain, the dopamine and serotonin, and those things are good for longevity.
Yes. You see, when we studied in our biotech company, and when we studied the capacity that we have to help people through nutrition cure metabolic diseases and its overaging domino effects, we looked at four dimensions. First dimension is the physiological dimension. The second one is psychological dimension. The third one is socializing, and the fourth is growth and contribution. And I always say to my guys, the researchers guys, I say, listen, guys, the main uh, uh, quadrants are this third and the fourth. It's socializing
Mhm.
and having the growth and contribution in your life. It's because this contributes to your holiness. So socializing, as you said, Kimberly, is so important. You have
Yeah,
to choose your friends. You have to choose your social circle. You have to choose people that can share with you things, counterpart with you some ideas, and so on. But you will be the one who chooses, and you interact with the people that
yeah,
you feel you can interact because it makes you grow. It makes you learn.
absolutely. Humans need a purpose.
Definitely, I agree. I agree with that. I mean, social interaction is an important factor, and that's what I love actually in the elderly homes. Actually, in the U.S., is that there's a lot of interaction between elderly people, and they socialize each other. It's completely different from what we have today in Morocco, for example. In
Mhm.
Morocco, everyone is at their own home. Everyone is at their place and depending on the kids, and they don't have a lot of social interaction. And you can see it actually in the mood of the elderly people. And that's what I love in the US, is that you have an environment where people socialize, where people get together, where people play games and interact each other. And that's the it's the first time that I knew that this is going to help people live more social interaction. I didn't know
Yeah,
about that. I knew about the exercise, but social
yeah.
interaction for me it's new, and that's that's really nice.
It is. I mean, there's a lot of research around isolation and how it suppresses the immune system. People die younger. You know, we need social interaction, and we need to feel close to people that we care about. Greater exposure to ultra processed foods is associated with a higher risk of adverse health outcomes, including cancer, sleep issues, cardiovascular disease, and more. Again, I couldn't agree more. I mean, my recommendation to the people I work with is eat real food. If you recognize it, eat it. If you don't know what's in it, probably not something you should be consuming on a regular basis. Don't keep it in your house.
I like something that you said is that don't
Yeah,
consume it in a
yeah,
regular basis.
Yeah.
That's something that I love saying, is that you can consume it, but don't get used to it. Don't put it on your daily life.
I think, Americans, my first time in Europe, I was 20, 21, or 22 years old. And it was such a really good experience for me to see. I remember going into a bar in Lausanne, and there were kids in there that were like 14 or 15 years old, and they were drinking, and they were completely like just socializing with their friends. Nobody was drunk or rowdy or out of control, so different than what you would see here in the US. And that was kind of my first real thought of, oh my God, Americans are so excessive. We're just extreme. We kind of live in extremes as a culture. And I think if you can get people to understand, like, I love pizza. I love to have a slice once in a while. I don't think it's something I should consume on a regular basis. I just don't think there's enough nutrition in it, right? Um, if there's something you love that's not good for you, it can be a treat occasionally. But the problem is people are like, well, it's Friday, I'm going to treat myself. It's Saturday, I'm going to treat myself. And before you know it, you're consuming this ultra processed, highly nutrient deficient food. I don't even like to call it food because I don't see it as being food. I see it as food like.
yes. But tell me something. We can highlight that inflammation is a key factor for aging and disease. In your practice, how do you help clients reduce inflammation naturally, and what are some of the most surprising causes chronic inflammation that
Um,
people
I would
don't usually
say
consider?
something that people often don't consider being a huge driver for inflammation is stress. Outside of diet, right? Stress and lack of sleep, those are huge drivers of inflammation. Um, so, right, you've got to get people to eat real food, eat things that are nutrient dense. But you also have to prioritize your sleep, and you have to manage your stress. And there are things that will help counteract that, like daily sunlight exposure, grounding yourself outside, right? Things that innately our body needs. We're very tied to nature, in my opinion. And when the further we move away from that, the sicker we get.
Yeah. Well, we could also think of something like personalized non-invasive longevity plans. I'm an AI guy, so with AI and biometrics evolving, we likely see tailored longevity strategies that use real-time data to track inflammation, stress levels, and also nutrient needs. And this without such invasive procedures or extreme diets. I mean, it has to be everything in the middle is would be great. So instead of one size fits all approach, longevity will become customized to each person using unique biology, and that's what we do at Epi, company.
I totally agree. I
We're
don't
working
think
in it.
anything
What do you
is one
think?
size fits all. When I see people that are very dogmatic about diet, they're missing the boat. We're all different. Like, what I thrive eating might not make you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We have different genetics. We come from our heritage. We come from different parts of the world. Like, there are so many factors that affect us that we don't even think about on a daily basis. But I think if you can tune in to your own intuition and you pay attention, because your body is always giving you information, right? Let's say I eat something and I'm like, oh, my stomach doesn't feel good. And then as it travels down through my gut, I'm like, oh yeah, that's information, right? Tune into that. Like, be willing to change. Like, one of the things I find people just get so stuck in, well, this is how I eat. And it's like they're a part of a cult. And I'm like, okay, but your diet doesn't serve you. You don't feel well. So maybe you should think about changing that, right? And trying different things and seeing what works for you. And what works for you can change throughout your life. Like, what I did at 20 isn't what I'm doing now.
Exactly. No, I was just about stating the fact that's exactly I have the exact same point of view, is that whatever you were doing before maybe doesn't work for you now, and what works for me is not going to work for you as well. So the one size fits all doesn't exist yet. Yes, there are some guidance to be able to follow. For
Sure.
people that like can't go deep into nutrition or understand their body perfectly because they don't have time, or they're not passionate about it or whatever. But so for those people, there is a guidance to be able to follow, and this guidance is a one size fits all guidance. It's the main thing that you need to know, which means, for example, what you stated before, which is like, if you don't know what's in it, probably don't eat it. And that's something that people can understand. But everyone is different. We're 8 billion people in this world. Everyone is different. Everyone reacts differently to a certain type of food. And that's what people need to understand.
There is also something to bear in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Tech is very helpful. Tech gives you data. But something we can do or teach our kids at school is to be able to listen to our body.
Mm-hmm.
This is a course to be given to the kid, because listening to our body is not at the fingertips of everybody. But if you learn how to do it from your young age, I'm sure it'll be very, very, very helpful in the long run. I never saw any course related to that at school, never in my life. Whereas it seems to me that it's not so difficult to be able to say to a kid, listen to your body, shut your eyes. What do you feel after you eat this or you eat that? Just feel what you eat. Just the feeling of what you eat, being giving it names like sweetens or sour or whatever. Those kinds of differences in terms of texture, taste, or anything, for me would be a tremendous course to be given to the kids or any adult, and anyways. But since the young age, when you learn about it, I mean, it can help you all your life, and I think it can cut the diseases probably by
I think it's
factor of two or
important to
three.
teach children when we're young, we're intuitive and we listen to our intuition. And I feel like we move away from that as adults, and we shouldn't. It's important to keep that tie to our intuition. It's given to us for a reason.
Totally. Well, let's dive right into the
Yes.
second article,
Yes.
which is related to business and marketing, which is related to what we feed our minds, actually, to be able to have those consequences today. So, how digital marketing can help a business succeed. Digital marketing can help businesses increase their online visibility, build brand awareness, and reach a larger audience than traditional marketing channels like print, TV, or radio might be able to. By gathering customers' data through various channels, businesses can effectively segment their audiences and tailor marketing strategies to engage these specific customer niches. Rahama Wright, founder of 𝐒𝐂𝐈𝐀, says being featured in InStyle and on the parents' social media accounts gave our brand tons of visibility and exposure, secured us around 1.2 million impressions, which was a huge awareness. This hits right into what I do.
I'm happy we have this article, guys, because that's just what I was saying. I mean, listen, in wellness marketing, there is often a fine line between educating and selling, and we have to admit it. So, guys, how would you maintain authenticity and trust in digital marketing strategy while still growing your business?
For me,
how would you do that?
I have a sales background before I did
All right.
what I'm doing. And I believe with all my heart that you have to be authentic. People feel that they can tell if you're being authentic or not. And I've always said, I can't sell something I don't believe in. Like anything that I am promoting to the people I work with, they're things I believe in. I've used with my family, people that I care about. I think that is the line that if you believe in something, you're not selling someone something that you wouldn't use yourself or do yourself, or you don't feel as valuable. I think that's a really good first step.
I partly agree.
Okay. Tell me why.
No, basically, I have the exact same point of view when you say that you shouldn't sell something that you're not believing in. But for example, in this case, in digital marketing, we tend to promote, personally, as myself, I tend to promote maybe some products that I'm not using, but that are not harmful to people, because I believe that they're not harmful to people. So for me, that's fine. If I promote something as a content creator, as an influencer in social media, if I promote something to be able to create content then myself, so this promotion got me money so I can keep on creating content, I would do it. Only if that promotion is not going to harm people. So that's 100% sure. But there's some cases where, for example, some creators promote a certain product, but they state the risk of that product and directly in front of the consumer. But at the end, like we said at the beginning of the podcast, is that we are the people that are going to choose if we want to use that product or not. It's not because Kimberly pushed a product in front of us that we need to consume that product. No, they're just raising awareness about this product. If you feel like this product is going to help you or not, it's your choice to be able to consume or not. What do you think?
Something I want to point out here. You cannot, if you promote a product, that means you paid for that, and that's how you make your living. And if you promote it by saying, okay, it might be dangerous in some way or another, then you're not promoting anymore, and nobody will give you the product to promote. If you want to be that quote-unquote 100% compliant guy, so on and so forth. If you promote it, you promote it. If you promote it, that means either you promote it fully to do your job as a marketer, either you don't because you don't believe it's good for the people.
There's one thing that Kimberly
even the best solution.
Is that people want authenticity. Marketing today is not marketing a few years ago. Marketing changed completely. Thanks to TikTok. TikTok is real people with real stories or maybe pre-made stories, but you feel them real. People are talking as if they were a friend of yours. So that's the marketing of today. If you give me products to be able to promote, I'm going to tell you my real opinion. Some people are going to consume that product. Some people are not going to consume that product. But I gave my real opinion to that product. And a lot of businesses today are looking for this type of marketing as well.
Okay, that's not promotion anymore.
But
That's
it's
just
a way of
talking about a
promotion.
product you
It's a way
believe
of
in and
promotion.
having eyeballs coming out toward you.
Yes,
That's
because
another story.
as
That's
I'm a
another-
content creator with
It's
over
not a
2 million
promotion.
people
You're not
following me on
paid by the
social media, and I'm
brand
talking
to
about this
promote the
product.
product.
I'm stating the name of the product, the name of the company. People know about this company, so it's a promotion.
I would call it promotion. From my perspective, that would be promotion.
Well, yes, that would be promotion. But when you promote something and you kill part of it, I don't think the guys that are giving you the contracts are going to keep on giving you the contracts. It's just that you have to be aware that when you want to promote something and you paid for that, you have to do the job by saying, okay, but beware of this. Let's take Coca-Cola, for instance. You're promoting your
Yes.
Coca-Cola. You have to be saying, okay, it contains a lot of sugar.
No.
When you say that, you're killing part of your promotion. Ask Coca-Cola
Everyone knows
if they will accept that you say that. I don't think so.
Everyone knows there's a lot of sugar. Everyone knows that it's a bad product. But
It says it right on the label.
It is on the label as well. So if, for example, Coca-Cola comes to me, okay, I promoted Sprite at some point. I was contacted by Sprite to be able to do a promotion. I created content out of it. It wasn't about the drink itself. It only was about the feeling and the environment and a certain concept that they made so that I can create content just by showing Sprite, for example, my daily life or whatever. And people know that I don't consume Sprite. From time to time, yeah, I like having my Sprite, my glass of Sprite. But they gave me money to be able to create more content. I promoted it. I got, excuse me the term, shit about it because a lot of people said, oh no, this is a very bad product. Why are you promoting this? Why are you promoting that? Excuse me, this company paid me so I can keep on creating normal content for you guys. So just leave me alone.
Yes, but you don't say Sprite is bad or be aware of. You're promoting the environment. You're promoting the impression that people have. You're promoting the environment, not the product per se. And we have to admit it. I mean, I think we have to shift the focus from a kind of lead generation to community building. So instead of treating digital marketing as a funnel to drive conversation, wellness businesses should use digital platform to create meaningful interactions. And this promotes even harder, whether through a free workshop or Q&As, interactive content. The future of wellness marketing isn't just about getting more eyes to your brand. It's about building a trusted community that grows organically. And this term, grows organically, means the authenticity that you were talking about.
That's a great point as well.
What do you think? What's your view on that?
I think that
Kimberly.
People know Coke is full of sugar. They know it's junk. But I agree with what you said about you're promoting like a lifestyle or a feeling, right? When you see a product, it's like, oh, we're having a Coke and we're having a good time, right? So, I mean, all that stuff it's so tricky. It's trickery for people, right? Because you never see Coke promoted by somebody on My 600-Pound Life laying in a bed unable to move because they're so fat. You don't. It's not how it gets promoted. So I think you have to be discerning as a person that's taking that in, right? You have to be able to look at it and go, see it for what it's worth. I mean, obviously, Coke is hoping that you see it for, man, that Coke looks great. I'm going to go grab one. Yeah.
And sometimes you feel like it. I think it's not because I'm in tech, but I believe there is something also we have to talk about. I believe the future, this is my view, it's very personal, but I think decentralized and ethical marketing will rise. Consumer are becoming very hyper targeted with ads and data driven persuasion tactics. So future wellness marketing may shift toward more ethical, transparent strategies such as some I would imagine blockchain strategy, like verified wellness claims and community-led wellness endorsement, rather than a kind of Yassine's influencer-based promotion. I say that because I believe the more we advance in those texts, the more uh, precise will be the target or the targeting ad to the people. I mean, people will understand whomever you're living in Texas, you are a wellness coach, this is your habits, this is your family, and this is how I should speak to you. This is how I should sell to you. I wouldn't sell to Yassine the same way or to Karim the same way. I would sell to you in a certain way so that you are super extra targeted. And I'm sure you might buy, let's say, 70% of the time because you're considered as
Yeah.
unique
Yeah. I mean, I
in
think
your
that's one of the
niche.
beauties of what we've been able to do in the last even 10 years. It is so, everything that comes at you is so targeted to your preferences. Or
Yes, I mean, even all the social
yes,
networks know us better than we know ourselves. Just social networks.
even
So
more.
believing with AI,
Totally agree.
it's even more profound. Because why do people say that OpenAI and ChatGPT? Well, now that we have DeepSeek, but ChatGPT owns
Yeah.
80% of the market. Well, because they were first in the place.
Yeah.
Because when you talk to them, they know it's you. They tagged you. They know you. They know what you want, how you want it. They know what you care about, and they can funnel you any targeted
Yes.
ads tomorrow
100%. I mean, it's
like that.
ChatGPT is amazing and frightening all at the same time.
Definitely. Well, talking about AI, let's dive
Absolutely.
right into the third article. Karim, the floor is yours to read.
Yeah. Topic 3 about the relation between the humans and AI. Transforming longevity research. AI paved the way to personalized anti-aging treatments. AI-driven evaluation standards have been developed to enhance aging-related intervention by providing personalized and reliable health recommendation. Point 2, by following specific guidelines, AI can analyze longevity-related drugs like rapamycin. We've been talking a lot about that drug, offering detailed insight while considering potential side effects that we were saying. We were saying there are two sides of the coin. Researchers emphasize the need for collaboration between scientists, clinicians, and policymakers to ensure AI-driven health recommendations are safe and effective. Well, this article highlights how AI is revolutionizing longevity research by improving the accuracy and personalization of anti-aging intervention. And instead of relying solely on human analysis, AI models, especially large language models like ChatGPT we were talking about, are being structured to assess interventions like medication, supplements, and lifestyle changes with a higher degree of precision. What do you think,
Go
guys?
ahead, Kimberly.
I think, I mean, I know my medical director for my business. He and I have talked about it extensively, and he's like, AI is going to be the future for reading, radiology. He said, I think radiologists will become less and less, and AI will do more and more of that work. I don't think he's wrong. I mean, we already see AI playing a large role in a lot of things. It's, I have such mixed feelings about it. I think it's so cool, and I also go, uh, this is a little scary because they're not human, they're not real, they're this computer that's doing this. It's when you lose a human touch changes the dynamics of everything.
I totally agree with you. It definitely changes the dynamic of things. As I say all the time, as a tool that are gonna help us help more people. It's going to help us understand better and make better decisions. I still believe that human interaction is going to increase and not decrease. Before, when AI just got discovered by the whole world, people were saying like, "Oh, it's going to replace all the jobs. We're not going to have human interaction, etc., etc." But it evolved. Today, in the contrary, it leaves us more time to have human interaction with our patients, for example, or our clients, or whatsoever. And AI is just going to be a plug to help us help more people understand the data better, faster, and give better recommendations as well. So it's not a bad thing, and we're actually working on something that is going to help people understand their analytics, get instant feedback, and help coaches or practitioners understand better the health of their clients.
Yeah.
And well, I see it as I see it more like AI as an anti-aging partner, not a replacement for human wisdom. Instead of seeing AI as a tool that will dictate a kind of funnel health decision, longevity researchers and wellness practitioners should co-create health strategy with AI, leveraging its analytical power, while at the same time integrating human intuition, the real world experience that is irreplaceable. And also, we can go back to the ancestral health and knowledge to create truly personalized well being plans. I think we have to look at history and look at the future at the same time and do something out of it to keep our humanity. I just wrote a book called The Renaissance Now. I'll send you a copy of it that just speaks about that and say, okay, with all these AI and quantum computing coming over, I mean, we're using quantum computing simulations in our company. So we know how powerful quantum computing will be when they will be at work totally, but we do some simulations right now. But we have to keep on our humanity as humans, because beware that in probably less than 3-4 years, AI will be probably 100 to 1,000 times more clever than us, will be a kind of understanding us better than ourselves again. And we have to find our place in our humanity. And I was saying to Yassine, listen, the job you're doing, being a content creator, being face to face with your audience, is the future. And I think what we do in this podcast is also the future. It could be evaluated like a past, but it's not. The more we advance in tech, and we are embedded in tech, the more I believe human touch, human interactions is a kind of luxury that we have to embed and grab and hug, because we'll be more and more lonely talking to any digital twin or any agent of a kind.
I think especially since 2020, people are like aching for human interaction.
Definitely.
I've heard a lot of young people even talk about it, like people in their 20s, like really had a hard time during COVID. I think that generation is also, they're already a little bit isolated because they're living a lot through social media and things like that. And then when things were shut down, a lot of them, it really affected their mental health. They didn't know how to deal with it. And I think, we're seeing from that just even more how important it is to be connected as human beings.
Yeah, we have a friend in the family. She's a psychiatrist. And we were having dinner together with my wife and discussing about the effect of COVID. And you know what struck her? She thought that the elder will come to her practice. And she found out that 80% of her clients were youth. They were young people from 18 to 25 coming over to her and said, I'm not feeling well. I'm not feeling well at all.
Older people have more emotional tools to deal with things that are hard. They have more life experience. And I think younger people were so taken back by it, and they don't have the life experience to know how to navigate some of those things. I think that's my impression on why it was harder for them.
I couldn't agree more. It's I have friends who got affected actually by this COVID period where there was no social life and everything was happening online, and it's hard. It's hard, and it actually made us understand the importance of human connection as well. We come back to the first article that we mentioned, which is socializing, which is a main key important factor to a healthy and happy life.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think also the future health platforms may use those AI-driven longevity models that generate customized aging roadmaps for individuals according to their taste and to their way they live. And they would suggest the best intervention tailored to genetic lifestyles or epigenetic factors. And I think AI will help a lot on that. And we should really look at it, not only in the elder years, but also in the young years.
Kimberly, if you have any last words to say, where can we find you? Where can people look into your info and whatever you have to offer?
Yeah, so you can connect with me on Instagram. I'm pretty active there. My handle is Kimberly Verbeke Wellness, or through my website, which is 𝐒𝐿𝐼𝐍𝐃.com, and Avita is spelled AVITA. Both of those are great places to connect with me. In terms of leaving a little nugget at the end, I always remind people that our bodies are so incredibly capable of healing. If you are sick, do not give up hope. Seek out someone that can help you find the root cause and address it, because your body's capable of healing.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, thank you very much. We'll leave all the links below in the
Very
description
well,
so
bro.
they can directly
Very
click
well.
and go into your profile. Kimberly, thank you so much for your time. It was
Thanks for
amazing.
And we learned a lot with you, Kimberly. Thank you. Thank you to you guys to have the patience to listen to those interactive conversations. Whereas today we were particularly one against each other for several topics and together with some others. And we hope that you enjoyed and you took the best of what Kimberly has to offer, because
Thank you, guys.
I learned a lot today with Kimberly. Thank you for that.